He calls out massive credibility crisis at the Clinton News Network. It would all be hilarious if it was not so sick. Fox News host Sean Hannity declared Monday night that CNN is faced with a credibility crisis after two weekend incidents added further blemishes to the network's image. Hannity cited two examples: CNN host Reza Aslan's tweets reviling President Donald Trump, which drew no punishment from the network, and the CNN efforts to stage a pro-Muslim scene in London. Hannity reminded his viewers that part of his show's purpose is to hold the Destroy Trump media accountable for their extremely one-sided, ideological, mean-spirited, and often downright nasty coverage of President Trump, his staff, and even his 11-year-old son, his wife, his daughter, and his family. There is a massive credibility crisis at the Clinton News Network, Hannity explained. Absolutely. Let's take a listen.
Welcome back to Hannity. So night after night, right here on this program, we've been holding the Destroy Trump media accountable for their extremely one-sided, ideological, mean-spirited, and often downright nasty coverage of President Trump, his staff, and his 11-year-old son, his wife, his daughter, and family. Now, one network has been particularly unfair in their coverage of the administration, and we are once again, we're going to do their job and call them out. There is a massive credibility crisis at the Clinton News Network, and that is tonight's Mini Monologue.
CNN.
So over the weekend, CNN host, constant Trump critic, Reza Aslan let his true feelings about the president be known. He tweeted out, quote, "This piece of, well, you know what, is not just an embarrassment to America and a stain on the presidency, he's an embarrassment to humankind." Now, Aslan later apologized, writing, quote, "Oh, he lost his cool after his apology, by the way." CNN, they released a very puzzling statement. It reads in part, quote, "Well, Reza Aslan is not a CNN employee, but does host a series on the network, and we're pleased that he's apologized for his tweets." Excuse me, that means he works for you. Now, in one way or another, you're contracting with him. Now, this guy has also said worse, and he's done it multiple times. Now, apparently, a CNN host on a CNN show literally can call the President of the United States a piece of, well, you know what, and other horrible things, and get away with it. Now, just for a second, let's imagine if I tweeted the same thing about President Obama when he was in office. You think the Clinton Soros group would be calling for my head and once again attacking my advertisers? Now, sadly, the Aslan tweet wasn't the only embarrassment over at CNN this weekend. Yesterday, a CNN reporter and crew in London, well, they were accused of creating fake news after they were filmed seemingly staging a group of anti-terror Muslim demonstrators behind a camera shot in order to create a pro-Muslim narrative. Now, CNN, they're vehemently denying what you can obviously see, saying, quote, "Staging. Well, the network is calling the story nonsense. They told FoxNews.com, this story is nonsense. The group of demonstrators that was at the police cordon was being allowed through by officers so they could show their signs to the gathered media. The CNN crew, along with other media present, simply filmed them doing so." Okay, you really believe that? Remember, the same network, Anderson Cooper, made this disturbing comment regarding President Trump. Take a look.
He's the President of the United States. If he wants to say that, Barack Obama wants to say whatever. If George Bush says, "I looked in his eyes and thought it was a great say it."
And who could forget last week's Kathy Griffin debacle? We'll get to that in a second. Joining us now with reaction, the host of Michelle Malkin Investigates, CRTV.com, our friend Michelle Malkin. All right, let's roll the tape. Let's let our audience decide. And I urge people, watch it. It's 2.5 minutes. You literally see the guy in the white shirt over there. He's saying, "Oh, this is where the mark is. This is where you stand. This is where we want you to stand." There's 12 protesters, 12, and they showed up apparently at multiple sites, according to Katie Hopkins. Now, then they get the shot in, you know, telling them where to, all right, time to put up your signs. It's almost like, all right, quiet on the set, quiet on the set. All right, ready? Okay, fake news. 3, 2, 1, action, go. You can see it all. It's hilarious if it weren't so sick.
Yeah, and you know, Sean, credit to Mark Antro, who was one of the citizen journalists who just happened to be on the scene and actually did some good on-the-ground reporting by simply pointing his phone camera at this staging so that we could see the fake productions on the ground. And you're right, it's lights, camera, faux action, and it's particularly striking, of course, because it works into the narrative that so many of these liberal elites, and particularly jihad apologists, have tried to ply in the mainstream media.
Okay.
And that is that they're right?
Exactly, show them. Hold it up this high.
Yeah, that's right. And of course, they had to have a kitty human shield there as well, right? Because they planted a little kid there with these pre-printed signs.
Yeah. All right. Now let's go to Captain Griffin. And, you know, I saw and I even tweeted one as horrible as it is. You know, what I see is like an ISIS pose. Nothing funny about it. But I'm getting concerned. I'm seeing more of it on social media. And I retweeted one. It was from a couple of months ago today. But if you're going to show the president decapitated like that one, we should really be showing the real one. People need to see it. And if you're going to if we're going to do this, why do I believe this is a real clear present danger and a threat to the president? More and more, I am convinced that anybody that can post that is really unhinged. Thoughts?
I think so too, Sean. And you know, there is an even worse aspect of this. When you think of all of the Western journalists who've been the victims of these kind of beheadings at the behest of ISIS and Al-Qaeda operatives. Do these people at CNN and all of Kathy Enabler's cheerleaders and enablers in Hollywood not remember the grisly spectacle of the heads of James Foley and Nick Berg and Daniel Pearl? You know, ironically enough, there was a piece that was printed on CNN.com that worried about the effects, the violent effects of ISIS propaganda, and yet they have a woman who was promoted as a co-host on CNN's New Year's Eve show for ratings, who is engaged in the same kind of grisly, violent, inciting behavior.
All right, we're just out of time. Michelle, great analysis as always. Thank you. And coming up next on this Breaking News Night tonight here on Hannity.
Unbelievable, unbelievable, and he's so right. He's so right. Let us know what you think in the comments below, and thank you for watching.